Hey there, it's Brandon Burns, your Head of Community here at Runway, and on the couch with me is a very special guest from the C2 Capital Group, Paul Jansz. How are you?
Thanks, mate. Good to see you.
Oh, it's fantastic, and we're
Nice
fresh
vest.
off. It's a very nice vest, isn't it? This guy inspires my entire wardrobe. So we're fresh off our global masterclass that we just had here at Runway, and obviously we've invited Paul down. I've attended quite a few events of his at the C2 Capital and C2 Angels breakfasts, and it's a great topic, this whole idea of working out how to go global. And you can probably talk a little bit more to it because you work with businesses that do exactly that.
Yeah.
So what do you think of today and the topic?
Brilliant. I thought obviously the array of speakers was very talented, very deep in experience. It's never easy for any type of company that is a startup, which direction you do go in, how you get the cash, whether it's private equity, whether it's venture capital. It's a tough one, isn't it? But
totally.
really good. Really good.
And I had the pleasure of going to China in May, actually, with Peter Terrell, your
You
director.
did?
Yeah, and Jordan.
Yeah,
and
you guys were sending all stuff through LinkedIn that I wasn't aware of, but they were baiting me to say, well, why aren't you here?
Yeah, exactly. I think WeChat was a platform of choice actually in China. But we had a ball, and it was awesome to experience the China market for the first time. We went to Nanjing, Melbourne's sister city. But also the magic that occurred on the trip with all the startups that went, and the collaboration. And look, you guys are obviously pioneering the space with your brekkies and your networking. But talk to me about that collaborative aspect and the ingredients that you notice in the successful startups and founders that you invest in. What is it that stands out to you about those teams that really sets them apart?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I think the common link would probably be the people aspect.
Okay.
And I suppose, like we heard today, even some of the guys were talking about the problem and the solution. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to sort of harness one of the companies that we've been incubating for the last 13 months in the healthcare space.
Wow, cool.
We believe that the healthcare space is prime for disruption.
Gotcha.
It's very much old school, it's not new school, it's not using tech.
So this is a startup you've actually incubated yourself?
100% through C2 Capital.
Wow, so what is this?
It's basically a healthcare brand. It's called Umbrella Health. It's going to be launching, its launches this week with its first clinic. The idea is to bring the customer as the main focus to the conduit to all the different services, all under the primary health.
So what can I expect to see and experience when I go into an Umbrella Health clinic?
Very tech driven, number one. So there's three key assets to the business model. One's the tech.
Yep.
And I think typically the industry of doctors still write everything by notes and probably put it through a fax machine, and no disrespect to the GPs, but I think we've got to go past that.
Can I self-diagnose when I go in? Or maybe once.
Good old Google.
Yeah. So it's tech-driven clinic.
Yes.
What else?
Well, there's three different areas.
Yep.
It's we know the multiples that are associated with that, call that consolidated model.
Yep.
So therefore, the clinics that we're opening up, the first one's in East Bentley, the second one's going to be in Toorak Road, Camberwell.
Yep.
Third one's going to be in Maribyrnong. We also know some large regional areas are quite active. So our fourth one's probably going to be like Albury.
Yep.
Big regional city. So we're really excited for what the Umbrella guys are doing.
Yep.
They're fairly inspirational guys that run the company.
So is Umbrella Health, is it like a clinic that further enhances the user experience, I guess, of the customer? Yes. So
100%.
Because we all know that when we go to a clinic, it's often quite dreary, and everyone's sick, but there's not a lot of connectivity.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. And that's a great way. If you look at some of the companies that have driven the customer-led experience, Uber, Spotify, these sort of companies, that is exactly what Umbrella is about as well, by that tech customer experience rather than the GP leading.
Yep.
Like, for example, we're never happy we turn up to an appointment, I turn up at 9 o'clock for an appointment and there's 9 other people with a 9 o'clock appointment.
Yep.
You know you're not going to get back to the office at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So we'll be leading a little bit of that tech where, based on the geographics of what we're doing and how we'll be able to inform you that if the GP is running late for whatever reason, that they will be running late.
Great.
9 times out of 10 it's communication.
Oh yeah, totally.
And we don't get communicated.
And the mind
as
starts
customers
to
that are
fester,
paying.
yeah.
Yep.
Because everyone's time is so important. Okay, so you mentioned that at C2, obviously you guys have a focus and you see opportunity in health tech.
Yep.
I remember one breakfast I went to, you touched on a couple of other industries or sectors that are ripe for disruption. And this is for the startups watching, because now you're actually hearing from a capital raising business. So I want them to hear from you, if they're going to think about solving a problem and focusing on an industry or an area, where else is going to really get the attention of their investor?
Yeah, look, I suppose typically from a C2 capital point of view, and C2 Angels in particular, we have spoken about food tech, we've spoken about wealth tech, fintech, and health tech. So they're the four key areas that we've been focusing on. So, but again, like anything, and like we heard today, what's the problem, what's the solution? Test it here. If you're looking for a global market, test it, and then look at how you can expand it out to a global market. So key things that we're looking for. Always looking for great ideas, but a model that's proven as well. So that's where you've got to make sure that you can prove and not just have a great idea.
Yeah, totally. So people want to find out more about C2 Angels and how to put themselves through the process as a startup and a founder to try and entice funding. What's the biggest piece of advice or best way for them to go about, really putting themselves in front of you properly to get considered?
Just have a connection, have a chat.
Work the network, meet,
You're a great person with LinkedIn. I think the ability to connect through there, bring that together, sit down, have a coffee, tell us about your idea, tell us how you what your vision is, and tell us how you want to grow it. And based on that, yes, like what sort of Maurice was just talking about before, and make sure that you can actually prove that comes to a fruition of a model.
Now, I'm inspired actually by you, Paul, because the first time I met you, you told me about how you've actually put a business through Microsoft's Accelerator in London. So, I mean, did you ever think you'd be able to do something like that?
Nah.
And how do you pull something like that off?
Well, probably lucky enough to be chosen, number one, to join that Accelerator program. It was a Microsoft program, so you've got there was about 8 of us that went across to London at the time. So it was a 4-month intensive program with some pretty big mentors. So at the time we were based in Queensland on the Gold Coast. Took that over to the UK. I personally went over there 4 times. Big, intensive. But at the same time, the experience, again, it's sometimes, and I heard the guys talk about it today, with sometimes you've got to say no to certain things. That's sometimes more important than saying yes to certain things.
That makes a lot of sense.
So
that's great.
But experience, second to none.
Awesome. Well, Paul Jansz from C2 Angels and C2 Capital, thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to coming to your next event.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much.